there. A lot of folks ask me about some of the strengths books that are out on the market and what you can learn from them. So I thought I'd do a quick book review. So I own all of the strengths books. I have Strategic Input Learner in my top 5 signature themes, and I love reading through the books. I've read most of them multiple times. Every time I'm starting on a new workshop, I pull off a book and look for quotes to use or new tidbits or new stories to share. So anyway, I love my strengths book collection. Not all of my books are from Gallup. I will share one book today that is written by someone who's not with Gallup. She's a Gallup certified coach, and she has written one of the best books on strengths. And there's another one coming out on the market very soon in June, which you'll hear a lot of buzz from me about. But let's get started. So the very first book in the strengths, philosophy was Soar with Your Strengths. And this book is by Don Clifton, and along with Paula Nelson. This was the very first book that you could buy, and it doesn't have the full 34 framework in it. It only talks about strength-based philosophy. It's a fantastic book. It covers things that the other strengths books that came out in the later years do not cover. It talks about rewards and recognition. It's just a very well-rounded book around strengths philosophy, and I really love this one. This is the newest printed copy, so if you're looking on Amazon.com, search for Soar with Your Strengths, and this is what the new cover looks like. It's the same edition. At the bottom it says, Soar with Your Strengths, a simple yet revolutionary philosophy of business and management. Find out what you do well and do more of it. Find out what you don't do well and control it. Still by Don Clifton, the late Don Clifton. I don't love that tagline. I just saw that for the first time. Find out what you don't do well and control it. Not all about that. That was the first one. Here is the second strengths book. Now Discover Your Strengths. This is the best book. You should look for this one. If you are a manager or you work in a team and you're wanting to introduce strengths philosophy to your organization, this is the book to go with. This has so much more data, so many more tools and applicable exercises and action items than the next book, which is Strengths Finder 2.0. This is the book you want to look for. It's not in print anymore, I don't believe. You have to find it on Amazon. There's plenty of them available. Grab this book. Now, know that if you're going to buy this book off of Amazon from a used bookseller, it's not going to have a valid code. So make sure you're aware of that it's not going to have the code in the back. Okay, that they used to have. Does this book even have codes? My goodness. I've had this book for a gazillion years. Nope, this book doesn't even have codes. Okay, so no code with this book. If you want a code, email me. I'll help you buy a code. Okay, this is the second book, Strengths Finder 2.0. It's the smaller version. This was on the Amazon bestsellers list in 2016. Most folks know this book. It does come with a code in the back. You can see this one's used. But this has a lot of the same information from Now Discover Your Strengths, but less. This is a much more digestible version of the book. So Strengths Finder 2.0 is the next edition after Now Discover Your Strengths. Here are some specialty books around strengths that I love and that I use in my coaching business, that I use in my consulting business. The first book that I'd like to talk about is Strength-Based Leadership. Now, this book is meant for executive leaders, and I would say that it still covers all of the 34 in the framework. It just talks about it in a different light of leading through the opportunity of building trust and showing compassion, providing stability, and creating hope. So like this, for instance, says leading with competition, and then it gives you action items on how you can emphasize your leadership skills through your strengths. And it's a pretty cool book. If you purchase this book, you're going to get a different code. There's a little spot in the back where you get a new code, and this code will get you the Strengths Finder leadership report, which is slightly different slightly different. So keep that in mind. But strengths-based leadership would be a great gift to give a boss or someone that is taking on a new role of management. All right, next. If you're Christian, I am Christian, and I love books that have to do with my faith. And so Living with Your Strengths is another great option to have if you want to think about how you are designed by God to do certain things, your calling or your mission. So discover your God-given talents and inspire your community is what the tagline is for this book. And this book was written by Albert Winsman, Donald Clifton, of course, and Kurt Leavesfield. And I had the pleasure of being coached by Kurt Leavesfield back in 2008. He's passed on now to the other side, but I was coached by him, and my 2 hours I got to spend with him through coaching were so impactful. I still review those coaching notes on a regular basis and remember what he told me about my own God-given strengths and how I'm going to use them in my life. So this is a great book if you're wanting to do a strengths workshop with your church or with a study group, a Bible study group. It's not a Bible study, but it does have a lot of Bible references and it helps you identify your God-given talents. So that's pretty cool. Another one is Strengths-Based Parenting. And this is by Mary Reckmeyer. And it also includes Jennifer Robinson. This says Developing Your Children's Innate Talents. This is a good book. It's a good book. I liked it. There's a better one coming on the market. I have an opinion. And I will share it. That there's a new book coming in the market from Brandon and Annalyn Miller. Brandon is a Gallup certified strengths coach. Their book is coming out in June. It's called Play to Their Strengths. It's a much more applicable book than this is. This is, if you're familiar with StrengthsFinder, you're probably not going to learn too much new about this. But the book called Playing to Their Strengths that's coming out soon is mind-blowing for me as a parent who has been around strengths language for more than 12 years now. So, but this is an okay starter book. All right. The next one in my group, in my list of favorites, is Strength-Based Selling. Now, I work with several different sales organizations, and I pull data from this book of how to help salespeople engage and fully leverage their talent. Salespeople are a different bird. They're a bird of a different feather, right? They are driven in a unique way. They have unique metrics. They have a unique drive. The fact that they start their quota over every single month or every single business quarter, that requires focus and just a different breed of person. And so this book has really helped me understand more about salespeople and how to embrace their strengths when it doesn't make a direct line. You know, we think of salespeople, oh, they must all have woo in competition. That's not true. Some of the best salespeople I've ever worked with do not have woo in competition, and yet they are building successful sales careers. So Strength-Based Selling is a fantastic book to give to a salesperson. It also comes with a code in the back. Oh my goodness. I'm just realizing I've never used the code in the back of my book. I have a free code. All right, strengths-based selling. And last but not least, I want to talk about the author I mentioned who's non-Gallup. This is Destination Unstoppable by Maureen, Electa, Monte. And she is a Gallup strengths coach similar to me, and she and I share a lot of similarities. She has a background in engineering. She's actually a trained engineer, and I am not, but I love engineers. I love working with engineers. So there's so much similarity between her and I. It's just funny. But she wrote this phenomenal book about working with the Cranbrook hockey team. So if you love sports and you love StrengthsFinder, this is the book for you. One thing, I'm married to a coach who is a sports guy, so I love to think about in the context of team, especially if my husband's coaching a team of football players or basketball players. So this is a really fun thing to think about. But this has helped me with analyzing corporate teams. Her knowledge here is just through the roof on understanding and being insightful about corporate teams and unique strength blends. I mean, this was a game changer when she sent this book to me. Probably over a year ago. Man, I love this book. The Journey of No Team Left Behind. Maureen, thank you for your book. Anyway, that concludes my book review of strength-based books. I hope this inspired you, especially if you love to read, to go out and get a new book and add to your strengths knowledge and live a life built on your strengths. Take care. Let me know if you have any questions. You can reach me at kathykersten.com. Bye-bye.